Okay. All right. So this is Bruno Perelli, who is currently working as an information security architect at Pollard Banknote Limited. He was originally also an RRC grad. If you can tell us a little bit about yourself, that'd be great.
Hello, my name is Bruno Perelli. I am from Brazil, so I'm here in Winnipeg since 2018. So as you mentioned, I am a BIT graduate, so um, I know how challenging is the time at the college and how to be able to reintroduce into the IT market. I am at Pollard for 2 years and a half, I think. Originally, I joined the company as an information security analyst, but I was promoted to architect. So it's really good to be here and share some experience with the other students.
Perfect. So basically, with you being in the field, what's some good starter advice that you can give someone who's looking to get into the information security field?
Information security is a really broad topic. So first of all, I think that you should do a research, like okay, which area I prefer to act. Like you could be a guy that is expert on defending an environment that people call the blue team. You can be a guy that prefers like to do offensive activities that is what we call pen tester. When you say offensive, is always authorized actions, like it's not the hackers that do bad stuff. Although I think that for students, if you talk to them that okay, this could be used by a hacker, this will attract a lot of a lot of attention. So it's always good to say okay, this could be used for bad and the good, and choose the good side. So do your homework of researching the roles available at the market is a area that is demanding a lot of professionals. And also I think that there is a entry barrier. Like I know that when the students get graduate, they are fresh. They don't have a lot of knowledge and experience on the area. But after they gain some experience, the market tends to be really aggressive. There is a lot of open positions. So my recommendation to students is research the titles, research the positions, select an area that you think that you would like. You can change later, but initiate your research selecting a field and try to differentiate yourself. So don't wait for graduation to try to get deeper into the field. So start doing your own research, your own study. Just don't rely at the college. College provides an amazing foundation for all of the students and professionals, but have your differential. Let's put it this way.
Yeah, I definitely hear that a lot. Especially, I'm only in term one, and what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of peers is that the college does teach you a lot of foundation, but the problem is, well, not really a problem. It doesn't matter how much foundation you have. At the end of the day, you're going to be doing a lot of self-teaching yourself. You need to do a lot of learning, which is very interesting to me. Um,
Red River is experience personally I think that Red River is a great college because they provide a lot of hands-on activities. So
okay.
uh, I think that the students when graduate they have amazing uh, hands-on experience as well.
Okay.
But remember that you are in a classroom with a lot of colleagues and everybody is competing for entry-level positions. So after you gain some years of experience in the market, you differentiate yourself and you position yourself in an area in the market. But when you are looking for a core position, when you are looking for your first job after graduation, it's always good if you already have a differential, an area that you know that it is you like, you are good, you research. So, and as you are a student, you have time to change. But initiate your search.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds yeah, you have to have the initiative and especially in this kind of field for sure. So what do you think your normal day-to-day looks like? Being in your type of field, is it always different? Or do you find that you're just always doing the same thing constantly?
Depends on it. Really fluctuates. So on my side now, as I'm working as an architect, I have more contact with projects, with evaluation of technologies, and but we also have like daily activities like change management process, reacting to potential incidents, doing investigations. So uh, there is always like let's say that we have like 30% of my time there is operational activities, things that you need to do almost every day, and the remainder of the time it depends on demand projects. It is it is interesting. I like a lot.
That's good to hear. That's very good to hear. It actually, so information security is something I do want. Well, cybersecurity in general is something I want to venture into. That's my end goal. I want to get into that. So that's kind of the reason why I'm in this course. So it's really great that I'm talking to you because actually I wanted to talk to you prior to when you were in what was that thing that you were in before, man? I forget what it was called. Uh maybe if Justin's here, but I don't know if he's actually listening.
Yeah, sorry, I
Um
came late.
yeah,
Directions
well,
conference.
directions. Yeah, you were talking at directions
Oh, okay, yeah,
conference,
yeah.
and there was just so many other people there talking at the same time. So you didn't really have a lot of time to speak. So I wanted to hear more from you. Now that you are here to be able to talk to us, was there anything that you wanted to say during that time and panel about cybersecurity that you want to share with us, maybe?
And the problem of cybersecurity, as I mentioned, is a really broad topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is, as I mentioned, so there is a lot of fields on cybersecurity that has a high demand of professionals. Uh, but the problem, this is one of the main issue of cybersecurity is that people tend to fall on under common jobs and positions. Like, okay, I am cybersecurity analyst. They think that that is just that position of the guy that work into a SOC. They are doing monitoring activities, firewall guy, CN guy. So this is the traditional security analyst job. But um, when you start to become pressures to the market is when you differentiate yourself. So there are a lot of job positions that is really difficult today to find a good professionals. For example, uh, it is really difficult to find a guy that is good in protecting cloud native applications. So because there are a few professionals that understand well cloud native applications. So you need to understand well to protect. Uh, another field that it is really precious to the market is the application the security developer is the guy that check code if the code follows uh, security best practice security standards. So it is a developers but with a really strong IT security background. So if you prefer a more exciting thing like trying to discover vulnerabilities, you can be a pen tester. Inside the pen tester, you can be an infrastructure pen tester, you can be a web developer pen tester. So uh, my main tip is don't look at information security over the eye of just the, let's say, well-known activities. Look for the gaps. There is a lot of position that's it demands professionals, and there are people qualified for that, but they do. Let me, if I can rephrase, this is I know a lot of great guys that have the time and the will to study, but they just don't know what study. So sometimes they spend hours studying for things that you will not like optimize the output at the market. But if they took that will, that willing to learn and study the high demands of the market, they will like launch the career fairly quickly. So keep you updated of the trends and and study what do you think that you like and is more important at the time. And the college will provide you the foundation to understand that is the base of the pyramid.
Okay. Okay. So, well, since we're on the subject, well, we're talking about like basically like things to learn. What are some of the most like, I guess, like in your profession, what are the most used and most valuable skill sets currently to you? What do you think that are most valuable right now to you?
Right now, I think that it is the willing to understand new technologies and know how to automate the. Um, you need to know how to automate the basics. Like if I'm doing this the same way, this is well-known process. So if you can code it, if you can automate it, automate. So basic stuff, automate, and have if you automate the basic stuff, you have the time to research that advanced stuff. So this is what I'm trying to do on my daily basis. So when I'm seeing that I'm doing a repetitive thing, okay, this is well known, this is repeatable. So I will invest in development of scripts. These scripts automation is really important for the efficiency of the security analyst. And if you do this well, if you know how to automate the things that you know, you have time to study the things that are new to you. So this is what I'm try. Not always you can do this, but this is what I'm trying to do every day. So I try to improve my script skills and always try to be most up to date as possible in the field that I'm working on. So, for example, right now, my main interest is in cloud security. So I'm trying always to keep myself up to date in tools related to cloud security. And the other thing, more traditional that I domain better, I try to develop some script skills.
Awesome. That's actually really helpful and nice to hear. So Justin has a question here, and his question was he's curious on your study habits as well. It seems that CCNP seems like such a fair thing or far thing for students who are learning CCNA level topics.
My CCNP is because my networking background. So and this brings to the start of our talk. You asked myself how what's the tip that I can give to students, and I took my CCNP, my CCNA, before my first graduation in Brazil, and this was what helped me a lot to get my first job, because before the graduation I already have my CCNA. So and I worked for more than 10 years as a network engineer, and just recently I pivot my knowledge from networking to security. So initially, the CCNP was excellent to me because to be a good security analyst, you need to understand networking. But right now, my focus is more on the certifications related to the security side. So I still carry with pride my CCNP. I'm planning to renew, but right now my focus is more on the cybersecurity certifications.
Okay. So I guess seeing how you were a graduate, I guess you did all like 5 terms at RRC, is that correct?
Yeah.
So when you were in RRC, what were some of the courses you took that weren't mandatory that you had choices from? What would you recommend on taking to get where you're at?
Uh, I think that on my area, I think that the web security course at the final term is really amazing.
Okay.
Stephen J was a really good instructor, and they provide you the your first for the other students. It is the first hacking experience, so they have a lot of good VMs that you need to hack. So they do some some step-by-step guides about how to hack VMs. So web security is a mandatory course at the end of the program if you would like to go to security. You will learn a lot of good experience. And for internationals as me, that don't have English as your mother tongue language. I think that some courses like communications for BIT or professional development courses is really important for you to, let's say, translate your culture to the Canadian culture, because every country has different ways to work, to behave. So uh, my tip is I these programs is important for Canadians as well, but especially for internationals. I think that these communication and professional development programs is really important as well.
Okay, perfect. You know, that's actually really helpful because I actually didn't even know what web security is, and now that you're telling me, it's kind of like they teach you how to kind
Yeah,
of
but
like do things like that. So
it is an amazing program. But as
mhm,
I mentioned, the VMs that uh, the instructor is going to show to you is publicly available.
right.
So if you know that you are going to, if you already know that you would like to be a pen tester, don't wait for the final term. So this if you look into the program of your course of your okay, BIT, which can I start to read this early? So because your experience will be totally different if you use the course for improve your experience and exchange and have some questions with the instructor. Uh, it will be way better than if you go there and have your touch for the first time in a attack distribution like Kali Linux, something like that. So if you have the time, don't organize your time in a way that reserve some time for these extra research activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, kind of, Justin had a, a smiley face and wrote down Kelly Linux smile. Yeah. I actually had set aside or bought a laptop just specifically to practice on Hack My Box and also use Kali Linux. So I've been
Exactly.
trying to get used to it.
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm still very amateur and don't know what I'm doing. So, but I guess it's like at the end of the day, it's really at least I'm getting the experience and I'm just like trying to figure out what's going on and then hopefully get the
And
foundation.
but don't diminish your skills. You will see that in the daily basis, the people tend to do a lot of silly mistakes. So uh, maybe even if you don't have a lot of experience, but you domain the foundations, you will see that a lot of vulnerabilities came from the basis. So if you domain the foundational stuff, you are going to be able to find a lot of uh, vulnerabilities, weakness, and so as I mentioned, the foundation don't put your mind, okay, I will just be able to research these 2 years from now. No, start today and you are going to see that when you are a professional, you see, man, I can't believe that I found a vulnerability like that one that you think that the people would not do. But the reality on the real life, you will see that you find a lot of simple stuff during your assessments. So
Awesome. That's good to hear. All right. Does anyone else have any questions at all for Bruno?
Uh, am I coming through?
Yeah, I can see it, Karan. Go right ahead.
So, Bruno, do you see value in things like bug bounty platforms and stuff as, you know, maybe a learning tool or something for as an introduction for a learning experience? I don't
yeah,
have any experience. I'm a first term student myself, but it's something I've heard of, but haven't really looked at much.
yeah, for sure. But completely, if you already have the basic knowledge, because for you to start to do bug bounting, you need to have the knowledge to see and find the inconsistencies, to find the evidence that there is a bug there. So if you feel that you are already prepared to do some bug bounting, you should go there and try to find as Julia mentioned, there are some tools that you can use to try hack me. There's a lot of environments like that you can use to train, and even if you are not able to hack something or find a bug, go there and see the tutorial about the people, what the people do in the past. So a lot of times you don't need to invent a new way to find a vulnerability or to hack a system. Usually what the people do is understand well how the people did in the past and pivot to new ways. So don't get frustrated fast. So if you are not able to hack something, let me just when I say hack, it's authorized hack, okay? I'm not saying for you to do unauthorized stuff. So this is the difference between the pen tester and the hacker. The pen tester is always authorized, but there is a lot of learning platform that you can use to train this. So invest your time trying to do the hacking stuff, and if you can't, learn the past experience. Watch the demonstration, watch what the review and the articles about how the guys was able to find that vulnerability, how to exploit. So don't get stuck on, don't try to create your own technology or technique before gain experience. So learn from the other mistakes, and then you someday you find, oh man, I don't need, I know how to create a new exploit for this without looking for the on the other guys did in the past. So it is like the developers as well, right? So usually the developers reuse a lot of code until they are able to to create their own algorithm and something like that. So
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other questions that we have for Bruno at all? Did you have anything else, Justin, if you're around?
I'm just trying to figure out. Do you guys start talking about his journey and like prior to? Because I know that prior to security stuff, you should be learning networking stuff, and that he already had that background. So that was like really interesting to hear. Yeah, I'm still like a CCNA level guy, so I'm like trying to wrap my head around should maybe like physical equipment, or should we be like utilizing not the packet tracers, but like what's the other thing called? There's another. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but
your question is about which other foundation knowledge is it would be valuable.
yeah, sure, you can go with yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, so networking for sure. The vast majority of the attacks is done over the network, although there are some kind of, let's say, offline attacks like social engineering. You can even just leave a USB card, drop it to the floor with some kind of technique that you are going to use to exploit a computer. But as I mentioned, networking is foundational for everything, but there is a lot of other positions that you not position knowledge that you need to have, depend on which kind of area you are going to specialize. So if you are going to do, for example, pen tester, you need to know well as SQL, because you need to find suspicious partners and suspicious strings and suspicious way to create, for example, a new SQL injection. You need to know well HTTP, how web servers work to try to do a exploitation in a web server. So you can study like even human behavior to do some special social engineering techniques. When you join to the market, you see that the human part is really important. The vast majority of the incidents on the companies happens with a human component, and usually the human component is compromised by some way of social engineering stuff. So it is really 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 common for we I I saw social engineers attack trying to hit us every day, and we always need to be looking to train the users. So understanding the human component as the main part of the security chain is really important as well. So and it is really difficult to me to say, okay, study this that you are going to have a success. As the college will provide you the foundations, and do your own research of the security positions that you have, and on each field of security you are going to have areas that you need to specialize and improve your knowledge. And I try to be as available as possible, but if you have any questions, reach me at LinkedIn. And okay, Bruno, I like this position. Which kind of knowledge do you think that's good for me to research? And if it is a title, a position title that I am familiar with, I will say, okay, this is the trend of the market, study this and that, so go for this. So and if I'm not an expert in the area that you are asking, maybe I may have a colleague that it is, so I can refer you to a colleague or a friend that you can better guide you. So it is a really broad topic, a really broad area.
Awesome, thank you. Did you have a question, Colin?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Bruno, you just took the BIT program at RRC. It wasn't the information.
BIT.
They have an InfoSec program now, don't we? Don't they?
BIT, BIT.
There's a separate InfoSec program as well. Yeah, but he took BIT.
Yeah, I took BIT. Yes.
Was the InfoSec course around when you took the BIT program, or was it something that
I select BAT because two things, three things actually. One of them, it was the time, because I had some immigration in my mind. So as the program was 2 years and a half, it would give me a permit to work after 3 years, and this was really important for me. The second was I find that the program has some business in the name, and I had a lot of experience as a engineer in Brazil, and I was interested in a course that has a business component because I would like to gain more knowledge on this area, because right now I work as an architect and I still hope to work in the technical stuff for a while, but I don't know, maybe in the near future or in the middle term I would like to become a manager. So the business part interests me, because to be honest, as I had 10 years of experience in Brazil, when I select BIT, I knew that a lot of stuff I already know, so I already knew from the past. I was more interested in this business part. So even in the InfoSec program, there are a lot of courses that I already knew in Brazil. So I try to get a course that can provide new stuff for me, just not the technical knowledge, because I feel comfortable with the technical side. So this is why I'm saying that for me the business component, communication components was more important to me, just because I had experience in the past. But if you are a new guy in the field, I think Red River do amazing work in giving hands-on experience for new guys in the field, because they graduate with some hands-on experience, and this sometimes is a problem in a lot of universities and courses around that. The people have a really good theoretical knowledge, but they don't never implement anything.
Did you end up taking a co-op, or did you work in the workspace during your time?
No, my co-op was at Poland, so I was able to find a position at Pollard Banknote, original as a co-op student, but my manager realized that I read a resume from Brazil, experience from Brazil, so let's say that my co-op, I did the regular job of a security analyst, and then the transition was really straightforward. Like I was a co-op student, but doing the regular security analyst stuff in the part-time, in a part-time basis. So it was really straightforward, the transition from co-op to be a permanent employee, a full-time employee.
So it looks like Justin has a question. Says that you mentioned cloud. What flavor of cloud certificate is he going for? Azure, Azure, Google, or AWS?
This has a potential to create a lot of haters. I am a guy. I am a AWS guy. I'm not saying that AWS is the best. Likely yes, but but AWS is the leader at the market. But if you are a good Azure analyst, you will find jobs as well. So I'm just AWS because I had the opportunity to work with AWS. It was my life that brought me to AWS. In Brazil, I had some AWS experience. So, but if my life puts me in a position that I first start working with Azure, I think that I would be successful as well, because there is a demand for Azure as well. But for sure, AWS is the leader. So and there is a high demand of for AWS professionals in security as well. But again, try to be an expert in the area that you would like to work, because there is a lot of people that say that they understand AWS, but there are really few people that really knows how to do the things on AWS. So if you would like to go to AWS, initiate your your roadmap, and try to get hands-on experience. Try to deploy environment. Try to see the real user cases. So there is a really big gap in the AWS field, especially if you talk things like Kubernetes containers, environments, something like that. So the integration between cloud and DevOps, these are really on-demand areas. So you see a lot of posts on the internet for the companies needing a DevSecOps guy, how to protect the cloud. So it is really good stuff. So don't stop on the basics. This is a really common error that people stud for a while and then stop it, and it creates a lot of professionals on the base of the pyramid, and a lot of vacancy positions on the middle and on the top, just because the people, okay, I have enough knowledge, and just stop the learning path.
So you mentioned Kubernetes. I learned a little bit about that, and just a very brief little bit. How often is that used in your field? Do you actually implement that a lot? Like, because then basically Kubernetes is like an orchestrator, right? More or less that you can use that to implement multiple systems and just do it all at once, or decide what you want on a certain system, right? It's just kind of like spreads it all out.
Yeah, a lot of companies uses Kubernetes today.
Okay.
As a security architect, I am not the guy that manages the Kubernetes. I am the guy that protects
it
and audits the Kubernetes. So, but in order for you to protect, you need to understand how it works. So it is a really demanding field. So there is a lot of security conference today just focus on Kubernetes security. If you go to LinkedIn and research about cloud security, a lot of positions will require you to understand Kubernetes and containers environment. So it is for example, if you are a graduate student and willing to, okay, I would like to go for cloud security. One of my main tips would be, okay, understand well cloud native applications, microservices, and Kubernetes, and integrations of security on development pipeline. this kind of thing is really important. And this is the importance when I said you to differentiate yourself. For example, last time that I was in Poland, and we opened a position there, a lot of students and professionals came to us with the foundation knowledge that usually we have, but just a few of them had the basic understand of this new stuff. So I'm not saying that you as a student need to understand well Kubernetes, but as you are a guy that is willing to join the market, I guess that it would be really nice for your career if you at least list the technologies that are trending. So if you are a guy that read about Kubernetes, you are one step ahead of the other candidates, because I don't need to tell you what Kubernetes is. You are although you don't manage, although you don't know right now how to protect, but you just prove to me that you are a guy that at least is doing your homework, is researching, is willing to improve your knowledge, go one step ahead. So this is really valuable, just stuff, especially security, because the bad guys is always one step ahead of you. So, and you always, you can't just stop to learn. It's really every day there is a lot of new exploitations, there is a lot of zero-day vulnerabilities that you need to understand, patch, blah blah blah. And it is an area that you never stop to study. So it is really good if you like. If you don't like, it's really tough to continue to be employable, because you get outdated really fast.
It's fair enough. Did anyone else have any other questions at all? Oh, I got one in from Justin here. Technology security topics can be very broad. What kind of interview questions have you faced in your time in the field? That's a good question.
Can you repeat? Sorry.
Yeah. So what kind of interview questions have you faced in your time in the field?
Interview questions, sir?
Yeah.
Well, for interview questions, you are going to ask the basic. You can't lie. I cannot. It is not fair if you are going to an interview and said, "Okay, how I protect this Kubernetes cluster." It is not fair. On the interview process, usually the company has a basic script with some foundational questions, and usually there is the, like, let's say, fixed part where you ask the candidate the things that you believe that you should know, and there is always a space for the questions that you would like free questions, like, okay, now that I know that you are a guy that know the basis, let's see how well you understand some new stuff. So for example, if you are going to work with me, I may ask you, okay, how well you understand AWS? How well you understand that? How well you understand that? So it is not mandatory for you to know this new technology, but if you know, for sure it will be a differential for you. But I'm just saying AWS because it is the things that you ask me now, but it could be any, it can be any technology that I may need for a project. So I don't mean to scare anybody. So during the interview process, usually the companies will not ask you about like high-end tech stuff. They will ask the foundation, and but there is always space for you differentiate yourself.
So are those like those technical questions, are they like typically like, obviously because they're like technical questions, are those kind of like take home questions that you do remotely, or is that like a timed question kind of thing that you would do? How does that all work?
Um, I I will tell about my experience in Brazil and at Poland. At Poland, usually I participate in two interview process at Poland, and on both of them, I just meet with my manager and we define these basic questions. Okay, Bruno. Okay, Bruno. What is the questions that you think that our analyst needs to know? And we define these basic questions. That is the questions that we believe that a security analyst needs to know. If the candidate goes well on these basic questions, that, as I mentioned, there is a space for you to start to. Okay, now that I know that you are a guy that proves that you have knowledge. What about this? What about that? So this second phase is more advanced, but it's not mandatory and can happen or cannot happen. So that depends on the need of the organization, right? So. And for example, I think that this was my differential during my co-op position because as I had some technical background, I took these basic questions fairly quickly. So what is this? What is that? I blah 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 blah. So for me, we had a lot of time during my interview process to discuss, let's say, advanced stuff. But as I mentioned, this is not mandatory. Don't put pressure on yourself. Your employer will not ask going to ask you to be a advanced guy for a junior position. So if you have your differential, good for you. But if you don't have, you are going to find a position as well. But so don't be afraid. Do your best, and the market is really needing professionals. There is a lot of vacancy positions. I think that if you know how to differentiate yourself right now, I think that it will help you not to find a job, but to be promoted more fast. I think that everybody that graduates on Red River finds a job. It's a really good course. But if you have a lot of differentials, maybe you are promoted fast, or maybe you get a better payment. So this is what can this would be your prize for you do the extra mile.
That's really great to hear. Did anyone else have any other questions for Bruno? All right, I think that would be it for today. Just want to say thank you for coming down and giving us all this knowledge. It's been a pleasure. I think I'm also gonna actually connect with you on LinkedIn.
Sure.
All right, you have a great day, and again, thank you everyone for stopping by.
Thanks very much. And as I mentioned, if you have any questions, I am not an expert in all IT security field. There is a lot of things that I don't understand. But and but if you have any questions, connect with me, and if I can help, I will. If not, I may have a friend that can guide you. So um, I'm glad to help. I know how challenging is the college life.
All right, thank you.
Bye
All
bye.
right, you have a good one, Bruno. Thank you,
All right, have a good night, guys.
and take care, guys.